Hello and welcome everyone. You're watching Esports and Information. My name is Harsh. Let's see what do we have today for reacting. All right, the rains have begun all across this great country of ours. You'll see that the southwest monsoons have set in over almost all the parts of Bharat. Let me just share this live stream over some of the other platforms as well. You can visit uh, our profile on X. It does have some of the interesting content over there. Okay. Yep. So it is one of the very interesting stories that I would like to share with you guys. Is why don't I post the reacting to the headlines on Saturdays? So it so happened on one of the Saturdays that I was ready with the live stream. Everything was set. I had done my research, compiled all headlines from all across the world. But what happened was at the last moment, there was a power cut at my place, and for this that specific reason, I could not stream it live. So all the headlines on that day, I had to shift it over to the next day, that is Sunday. And uh, and, and weekender was something that we came up with pretty early on, even before we started streaming on YouTube, and even before we started putting on video content as well. So uh, so then that led to the creation of the weekender on every Sunday. So it gives us gives us a day off from reacting to the headlines, and we can produce we can put up some fresh content on Sunday. So yes, according to our calendar, Sunday is usually the beginning of the week. So whenever you start something new, you always start with a well-deserved rest. So so our week, our week starts from Sunday, just as the weeks people in the West Asian region, in the Gulf countries, their week starts from Wednesday or Thursday. I'm not really sure, but they do have some different way of organizing their week. And we follow the Gregorian calendar, we follow the Christian traditions. I don't know why, but we still do. And hence we have this rule of functioning from Monday to Saturday and enjoying a Sunday off. So there's a story over there. Right, let's see what do we have for reacting. Let me just set this up. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. All right. Here we have, for people who are very much fond of listening to the Prime Minister. Today is the last Sunday of the month, and just as usual, he's going to telecast his Man Ki Baat program on Akashwani at 11 a.m. today, for all the people who very much believe in the Prime Minister and would like to uh, you know it's basically some sort of a content creation that the Prime Minister is doing. So yes, so people who enjoy listening to such content, it's like a podcast. Okay, it's like a podcast by the Prime Minister. So yeah, today being the last Sunday of the month, he will be going live at 11 a.m. today, and he will share his thoughts. Okay, this is the it will be the 111th episode of the monthly radio program. It will also be the first episode after Mr. Modi assumed charge as Prime Minister for the third consecutive term. So I would say yes, this definitely acts as some sort of an insight into the character that Narendra Modi is. And yeah, so people do feel some sort of inclusivity when a leader of a country undertakes such initiatives. So yes, uh, you know if you're really fond of it, you can tune in to Akashwani. Even they telecast it on his YouTube channel as well, so you can hear it. Next up is, yes, the stellar performance by the men in blue yesterday. The national cricketing team of Bharat has managed to clinch second T20 World Cup trophy, and they managed to perform better than the South African team on that day. South African team was also coming. It was also the first time that they were reaching the finals, and for those of you who don't know, South African team is also known as, they're also given this epithet of chokers. It's slightly, I would say, slightly insulting, but um, they have been given this epithet of being chokers because they cannot manage to win a final game. So both the teams, Bharat and South Africa, both of them were undefeated all throughout this tournament up until yesterday. But it was only the national team of Bharat who managed to stay undefeated all throughout the tournament, and bettering the South African performance in the final game. Yep, but there is also some heartbreak for the cricketing fans because two of the dynamic openers that we have, one is Rohit Sharma, who was the captain for this team, another one is the run master, the chase master, the run machine, Virat Kohli. Both of them have announced retirement from T20 international cricket. They have had their fair share of games, I would say. Both of them have decided to end their T20 international career on a high. Obviously, both of them will continue playing leagues such as Indian Premier League. But yep, so if you saw the match, if you followed this tournament throughout, if you have followed this tournament throughout, you would have seen that both of these batsmen were under considerable pressure, and it was anticipated. The cricketing fans and cricket analysts all across the world, they had anticipated that there would be some announcement coming from the side of Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, and here we have it. So yep, they definitely have given many moments. I would still remember Virat Kohli hitting Harish Rauf for six in that game against Pakistan. I still remember Rohit Sharma, and Rohit Sharma has played like numerous knocks. Okay, you just cannot put your finger on one knock that Rohit Sharma has played. And okay, so very recently he scored a 92 in the semifinals. Yeah, semifinals or quarterfinals, I'm not really sure, but yes. So both of these batsmen, both of these versatile cricketers, athletes, have played their ultimate game uh, for the national team at the T20 International World Cup that has concluded in West Indies. So thank you, Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, for all those moments on the international level. And we will definitely look forward to watching you in some of our uh, own games, such as Indian Premier League and all other leagues. Next up is Subramaniam Jaishankar, the diplomat turned politician. Or for those of you who don't know, Qatar is he's trying to emulate the role of Bharat. Qatar is trying to emulate the role of Bharat, and how, you might ask, how exactly are they doing it? Then we could say that you know we have this unique ability of walking a tightrope when it comes to foreign policy, negotiating positions when it comes to our relation to China, and our relation to USA, and our relation to Russia as well. So this is some skill that we have managed, and it's not a recent phenomenon. I'm not entirely attributing this to the current external affairs minister. I would say many external affairs ministers that we have had, from Shushma Swaraj to all the others, all of them have significantly, done justice, have done significant justice to this role of walking a tightrope when managing foreign relations. Because if you see countries in the West, that is in Europe, they have had this clear cut policy that either you are with the West, either you are in the West camp, or you are in the Russian camp. But we somehow have managed to keep a foot in both these camps, sometimes at detriment of our own national interests. But yes, so he has he's on a visit to Qatar. Qatar is a mediator. Qatar acts as a mediator in many of the conflicts in the West Asia, more specifically Israel and Hamas conflict as well. And if you follow international news, you also might have come across this highlight of you know s- funding flowing into the territories of Palestine through Qatar. Okay, Qatari banks are facilitating financial necessities of uh, Hamas, and by that extension Palestine as well. So yes, Qatar has some role to play when it comes to mediating various aspects of bilateral relations, including political, trade, investment, energy, security, cultural and people to people, as well as regional and international issues of mutual interests. Yeah, this is all just lingual trickery to confuse you into so there is a cryptic message over there. In short, he's going over there just to make sure that everything is going well, everything is going well, and yep, that's it. All right, this neat investigation by CBI is like there are multiple arrests being done on a daily basis. Recently, CBI has arrested three more accused people from Jharkhand. Earlier, we had covered this in our previous live streams that there are arrests taking place from as far as Godhra city in Gujarat, Latur district of Maharashtra. Now we have arrests taking place from Jharkhand as well. Initially, the arrests, this saga of arrests began from the state of Bihar. So, yep. Uh, let's see where does this, continuous chain of ongoing arrests stop, and you know like how deep down does this rabbit hole go? I mean, because it's like the spiral is convoluting. We don't know where this will end. Where is the head of the snake? Where lies the smoking gun? And I'm really sure. I'm really uh, I have this intuition that you will find somebody from the higher offices of the educational body. Somebody somewhere is involved. Somewhere who is occupying a high office in education ministry or NTA. Somebody has to be involved in this, because nobody could have managed to pull this off from the outside. There has to be an inside link somewhere. But it is highly unlikely that we will get to know who from the inside was involved, because in such high profile cases, government usually does not let out the information about who from the inside was involved. So let's see. Next up is the country of Mongolia. Mongolia, the landlocked country in the Asian continent, the country that is sandwiched between Russia and China, both difficult neighbors, both of them nuclear armed neighbors. So, a delegation from Bharat, led by Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar, concluded its 5-day visit to Mongolia after observing the process of elections in the strategically located country. Okay, okay. Representatives from 40 countries were invited by the General Election Committee of Mongolia as international observers for 2024 general elections. So they are also, Mongolia. The nation of Mongolia is also undergoing their 2024 general elections, and they have invited representatives from 40 countries. Keep in mind, when we were also undergoing elections, we also had guests from many European countries, some of the Asian countries as well. So what they do is to establish the legitimacy of their electoral process, to consolidate their further democratizing of their society. What they do is they invite observators, if I may use that word, observers. They invite observers from other countries, third party countries, and so they go over there, they observe their elections, and yeah, so just to consolidate the legitimacy of their democratizing processes. Yeah, because we frequently see that there right now, with this era of digitization of everything, you know we see that on social media we compete against narratives. And very recently, if you are very much active on social media, you must have seen these videos of Chinese view farms. Okay, Chinese view farms, as to there are people sitting on computers with multiple phones connected to a single computer, and so if you want to boost views for your content, these farms provide such services at a right cost, I would say, because let's face it, nobody does these things free of cost. So yep. So there are also talks doing around on social media that this is the reason why some political parties and some political leaders in our country, why exactly were they getting so many views. And yeah, this isn't exactly verified. These are the videos that are doing around on social media. And just like it is said, a piece of information, you never know whether it is true or false. You can only make a judgment based on whatever that is available to you. So yeah, the delegation from the nation of Bharat, they are on a visit to Mongolia to observe their 2024 general elections. Mongolia, yes, I would say this country is not very much talked about. People don't really talk about Mongolia because they are a very low profile country. They live their life. They have a hostile neighbor, namely China. And it is interesting to note that China also has border disputes with Mongolia. The majority of the Mongolian territory is, of course, desert. Uh, you know, a terrain where it's not exactly fruitful to have inhabitation. But regardless of that, it is a territory. They are a people. They are a different culture from the Chinese culture. And yep. Next up is there is some data put out by the national government about the consumption of cement. Okay, cement is the powder. Cement is something that we use in construction a lot, building of infrastructure. When you are building a wall, you need cement to stick the bricks together. Okay, apparently, according to the reports put out by the central government, we are world's largest cement producing company. Okay, okay. Now, because I would say we are still a developing society. We only have a handful of cities that we could call as highly urbanized, highly developed cities, and you can count these cities in fingers, such as I would start with Delhi, Mumbai, uh, Bangalore. Bangalore is recently facing a lot of uh, you could see it on social media, that how people from the outside, people who are working over there in their IT industry, how are they being treated with by the localites. There are multiple videos you to look it up if you doubt me on that. So Delhi, Mumbai, I would say Bangalore as well, Chennai, Vishakhapatnam, up to a certain extent, Kolkata. So these are the handful of cities that we like to call it as highly urbanized cities. But majority of the land that we have is still requires a lot of infrastructural boost, and this infrastructural boost will come at a cost of a lot of cost actually, and building of infrastructure requires cement. So, so to give you some perspective, this is the data that was put out by the government. They say that 195 kilograms of cement is being consumed per capita. Okay, so I wouldn't know how to make sense of this. So if you think logically, if let's say what the government is trying to convey over here, so when they say per capita, are they do they mean that each individual on the land of Bharat, they are consuming 195 kilograms of cement? So I would say uh, yeah. So to make sense of this data, you could look at it in this way, that you know for each individual there is 195 kilograms of cement available. And yeah, so you can look it up on various websites, and how much kilogram of cement is required to produce a house. So yes, so for each individual we have 195 kilograms of cement available. Next up is again CBI. CBI is making arrests left, right, and center. Now they are conducting searches at 7 different places in the state of Gujarat, including Ahmedabad and Godhra, in connection with the case related to alleged irregularities in the NEET. CBI arrested 2 individuals in Patna in this case. Yes. So arrests are going on, searches are going on in places that that are far away. So imagine this: if this entire if this entire conspiracy, if this entire paper leak saga would be limited to just one place, be it UP or Bihar or any other state, why are they making arrests from places that are very far away from each other? If you compare the distance between Bihar and you know uh, Ahmedabad and Godhra and Gujarat state, for that matter, they are, I would say, a good 600-700 kilometers away from each other. So this is a very well planned and executed and orchestrated thing. So let's see. Next up is, this was a rather saddening news, because soldiers dying in peacetime is very traumatic, I would say. So 5 army soldiers were killed during a tank warfare exercise when the stream through which the tanks were passing suddenly got flooded. An exercise of tank warfare was going on in Daulat Beg, near the line of actual control with China. Okay, keep in mind this is the area that is very close to the standoff that we had, the Galwan standoff that we had. This is at an extreme height. The altitude at which Daulat Beg is situated is very high, and we have managed so far to land a Globemaster, a C-130 Globemaster over there. So logistically, we need that this place is very well connected, and they were conducting a tank exercise, because at such an altitude tanks play a very crucial role in warfare. So they were conducting a tank exercise. They were trying to cross a river. When the tank was crossing a river, the water got flooded, and the soldiers inside, they died due to suffocation. It's sad news. It's sad news. Yeah, I hope some compensation is given to the families of the deceased soldiers. Death of soldiers in peacetime is never good. Yeah. So so I would say this also goes as some statement to the country of China as well, because we have managed to land a C-130 Globemaster over there. We are conducting tank exercises over there, and obviously we are not just doing it over there because we have to do it. It's there is obviously some sort of a subliminal messaging whenever a country takes undertakes such exercises. If you look at it, North Korea, if you look North Korea, they regularly conduct such military exercise to send a message across. So does, military exercise in the South China Sea. Very recently, if you follow international news, you would have come across this, that Australia, Japan, Philippines, and United States, they also conducted a recent naval exercise in South China Sea. So yeah, these exercises do have some or the other subliminal messaging. Uh, so let's see how far does this go. Next up, let's see what is this. 24 into 7 war room will be established under the close monitoring of the Ministry of Civil Aviation to ensure the full refund of cancelled flights or provide alternative travel route tickets as per availability. All refunds will be processed within a stipulated time of 7 days. Yeah, this is a good initiative by Ministry of Civil Aviation. Now they have a 24 into 7 room that is specifically dedicated for this service, because we have seen this in the recent past that even many of the passengers have lost their cool, and there have been also videos of scuffles between officials at the airport, airline officials, and the customers. So yes, to get rid of last minute canceling of flights, there is a 24 into 7 war room facility started to ensure that some or the other facility is given to the people who are facing cancellation of tickets, or if at all some of if at all refund is reimbursed, uh, no, I would say quickly. Yep. So now there has been, okay, so in the previous live stream we discussed that how there are three new, know, Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita, and yeah, so there are some elaborate amendments being done to the, you know, uh, elaborate amendments being done to the laws, the criminal laws that we have, the archaic colonial criminal laws that we have. So yes, so now they have also expanded the definition of evidence that we have. According to the law now, statements or digital records available in electronic form are included in the definition of evidence. Earlier they were not, now they are. So all the digital records in the electronic form, now they have deemed to be fall under the definition of evidence. Permission for witnesses, accused, experts, and victims to appear through digital medium. Yes. So I would say, yeah, digitization, it's taking place slowly and steadily. We are moving towards a digitized society. But one major impediment over here is, penetration of internet. Penetration of internet is going to be crucial if you are pushing towards a highly digitized society. Next up, this was pretty interesting. Union Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports Mansukh Mandavia has welcomed Indian Olympic Association President PT Usha's decision to include yoga in the Asian Games. All right. Okay. Yoga is definitely challenging. I would say the practice of yoga that we have, the centuries, I would say the millennia old practice of yoga, the philosophy of yoga that has come out of this land. It definitely is challenging. If you would see, not everyone can practice all the asanas that we have, all the postures and everything that you need to do. It requires some sort of grace and elegance to practice yoga as well. So if you have gymnastics, you must have yoga being included, not just at Asian Games, I would say even in the Olympics, because it requires some degree of finesse, a higher degree of prowess, and even a higher degree of elegance and grace to practice yoga. You know. Yep. So, Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports has granted recognition to Yogasan Bharat for promotion and development of yoga as a competitive sport in the country. Yes, this is something fresh. You know, earlier it was just being seen as something that you can practice at your home, practice individually. But yes, promoting yoga as a sport, promoting yoga as something that could be competitive, I would say yes, it would definitely, it would definitely boost. It would definitely boost the image that we have. It would definitely boost the popularity that yoga enjoys among the citizens, among the people all across the world. Yep, that's fine. That's fine. Let's move ahead. An earthquake of magnitude 4.5 strikes the Andaman Sea. If you've studied geography, if you've paid attention to geography lectures in your school, you might be aware that there is this place that we called as Pacific Ring of Fire. Okay, so there is this arch in the Pacific Ocean that stretches from, I would say, from the easternmost part of Andaman Nicobar Islands all across Japan, Philippines, and so there is this Pacific Ring of Fire that is, very much prone to random tectonic movements. Earthquake are tectonic movements. Okay, some shaking of the Earth's lithosphere that is driven by tectonic movements. So yeah, there was an earthquake of magnitude 4.5 in the Andaman Sea. Usually, the peninsular India and the parts of Andaman are, known to be very much immune to the earthquake and all these natural forces. But yes, uh, there are mild earthquake. I wouldn't say 4.5 is a very high earthquake, but yes. Next up is the Amarnath Yatra, the annual Amarnath Yatra that you know the second batch of 4029 pilgrims has left the Bhagwati Nagar base camp in Jammu to perform the pilgrimage to Amarnath Shrine. In the south of Himalayas, under the tight security cover, the number of pilgrims who left for the shrine from the Jammu base camp till now has reached 8,632. Okay, so there are close to, somewhere 9,000 number of pilgrims that have crossed the Jammu base as we speak. Let's hope that these, Islamic terrorists do not hinder or do not, you know, undertake some of the terrorist acts. And yeah, so we've seen that how we have to provide tight security to these pilgrims because secularism. But yeah, it's usually we have to prove our secular credentials. The other side, they can attack and still play victim when it comes to the realm of secularism. Yeah, so there's no point in talking to this. I frequently come across people uh, who constantly regurgitate and keep on repeating these ideas of no, secularism, state has no religion and this and that, and no, we have to be secular. I would really urge you to pick up a book, start reading the history, what actually happens. Don't read ancient history, don't read medieval history. Okay, read contemporary history, I would say. For people who say that no, times have changed, we do not live in the medieval age anymore, you know those principles of conversion, those principles of plundering and loot, they are obsolete right now. And okay, so let's come to contemporary history. Okay, so people who are still very much adamant adherents of the ideology of secularism, I would really urge you guys to pick up contemporary history. Read contemporary history and find out, okay, when exactly, you know when exactly has the other side displayed, proved, and established their secular credentials. Let me save you the burden. Never. Yes. Okay. So the embassy of Bharat in Thailand, Bangkok, they have come out with this arrangement that they are going to grant electronic tourist visas to people from Thailand wishing to explore this exquisite land of Bharat. So they will be granted electronic visas uh, without any cost, involved. So the term that they've used was the official press release from the embassy of Bharat in Bangkok, Thailand, uses the word on a gratis basis. Okay, so that means that they would not be charged any sort of they would not be charged any money to apply for visas to come to Bharat, and that this is only valid for 30 days starting from 1st of July. I would say yes. This could have been done to boost tourism, to boost tourists, to boost tourist numbers from Thailand. Obviously, there are some cultural links that we have with Thailand. We have some Vishnu temples in Thailand as well. There is too much proximity. Even if you look at the script that the people in Thailand use to write, it is very much. I mean, it is very much similar to the script that we use in the southern languages, more specifically Malayalam and Telugu. So yep. And historically, yes, the Chola kingdoms, the Pandyan kings, they were all very much they are very much associated with these regions. How they spread how they spread the Vedic message over there. This is interesting. uh, Navy and Coast Guard carried out a successful medical evacuation of 4 critically ill patients from Lakshadweep to Kochi last evening. The patients included 2 infants and a woman. Yep. So Lakshadweep is the island territory. Towards the east, we have Andaman, and towards the west, we have Lakshadweep. So Lakshadweep is an island territory of Bharat that we have, and very recently, the Coast Guard and Navy they do this on a frequent basis, even during COVID, and there are many examples. So very recently, they helped evacuation of 2 infants and a woman. Uh, it was a medically, it was a medical evacuation. Yeah. So, like, be it anything, if you need any emergency service, it is always the army that is, the last resort that we have. And we deep down, we know that they're not going to disappoint. Even if you look at Sikkim, currently Sikkim is uh, undergoing this bout of extreme and severe rainfall. Due to that rainfall, they have this problem of landslides, and due to those landslide, we had to evacuate a lot of people, a lot of tourists as well. And guess what? Who did that? Army. And even they had to build a bridge. Okay, there was this makeshift bridge that was made by Indian Army, sorry, by the Army of Bharat. That uh, if they had not built that bridge, the connection between two towns would have totally severed. And yep. Chennai, the land of Tamil, the nod of the Tamils. Okay. So in the coastal city of Chennai, there is this integral coach factory. So they have managed to manufacture a total of 75,000 coaches, and the 75,000th coach, okay, they rolled out on June 27. Yep. So there are photos put out, 75,000 coach. So there's this factory. Railways, I would say it's still underutilized. We have covered this quite elaborately in many of our previous live streams. Railway is something that needs a lot of capital infusion. They are doing it. They are doing it. I'm not saying they're not doing it. They're doing it, but railway does require a lot of capital infusion because we are still underutilizing. Uh, We're still underutilizing the railway potential that Bharat has. Next up is the Chief Minister of Jharkhand, Hemant Soren. Okay. High Court grants bail to Chief Minister Hemant Soren in a money laundering case related to illegal possession of 8.36 acres of land. Yep, chief ministers, politicians turning out to be corrupt should not be a new thing. But if you juxtapose this example with the example of the chief minister of Delhi, yep. So currently there is somebody else who is occupying the seat of chief ministership in the state of Jharkhand, but the Delhi chief minister is adamant. Okay, he does not want to relinquish his position as the chief minister until and unless he's waiting for a conviction from the courts, that unless and until the courts convict me. And obviously, even if the high court convicts him, he'll appeal in the supreme court, and the process would go on. So to avoid all of this, there is a unspoken political tradition that we have. Politicians, whenever they are involved in a case that is sub judice, they usually resign from their post. And when they have been absolved of all the allegations that were made against them, they come back to the office. But I would say, Kejriwal is slightly different in that regard. Hmm. The telecommunication mobile number portability. So there are some new regulations in regards to mobile number portability that are going to come into force from tomorrow. That is 1st of July. Okay. Through these amendment regulations, an additional criterion for the rejection of the request for allocation of a unique porting code has been introduced. Specifically, a UPC shall not be allocated if the request for the UPC has been made before the expiry of 7 days from the date of SIM swap, SIM replacement. Okay, so after you do a swim swap or a SIM replacement, you would have to wait for 7 days, and only after 7 days you can request a unique porting code. This is what Try has made it mandatory through this regulations. Next up, Mizoram Peace Accord stands as a beacon of hope for the state. Governor Haribabu Kambhapati. Okay. The governor was speaking at a Remnani celebration held at a club in Aizawl, that is the capital of Mizoram. Remnani marks the day when Mizoram Peace Accord was signed in 1986. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, after the transfer of power in 1947, there was largely just one state in the northeastern part, that was Assam. Everything else was being administered through the territories of Assam, through the offices in Assam. Okay, now during the 1950s, there was this famine in the northeastern part, more specifically in the parts that is under the territory of Assam, under the territory of Mizoram, that makes up the territory of the state of Mizoram, and they called it as Motam. So get this: bamboo plants have flowers every 48 years. Okay, and whenever they have flowers, they do not there is a great famine. Okay, so there was this great famine. There was this allegation that there was this negligence from the side of central government. So there came up different organization, different fronts advocating for the Mizo cause, because according to them, they are being totally neglected by the center. And so there was this political body that came up, and the name of that body was Mizo National Front (MNF), with which these Mizoram peace accords were negotiated. So the Mizo National Front, they also had an armed wing, Mizo National Army. It declared independence from Bharat on 1st March 1966 under Operation Jericho. A guerrilla war broke out immediately in major towns. The first major action was an attack on the telephone exchange and ransack of government treasury in Aizawl, that is the capital of Mizoram, the current capital of Mizoram. So yes, there was a lot of guerrilla warfare. There were a lot of negotiations going on, but it was in the end it was the central government led by Rajiv Gandhi who managed to sign a peace accord with the MNF. It is still in place, and largely there has been peace in Mizoram. Yep. So if you see in many of the states in the northeast, you will see that there were in the earlier days after transfer of power in 47, there were these secession secessionist politics. Okay, meaning they would do not did not wanted to be a part of the Union of Bharat. They wanted to exist as independent sovereign states, and many, I would say, even Nagaland. You know, but yeah, I would say there were significant efforts made by the Rajiv Gandhi government. They managed to sign a peace accord that is still in place. Okay, so I believe in giving credit where it is due. So yes. So very recently, this there was this uh, even we have covered it in many of our previous live streams. Very recently, there was this helicopter attack on Iranian president, and not exactly attack. The helicopter carrying the Iranian president, it crashed, and the Iranian president died. So there is this presidential election. Presidential elections were going on, and many people voted on it. And get this, the voter turnout for this presidential election in Iran was somewhere close to 40%. So only 40% of the people have faith in the electoral system. And yep, the spokesperson said that the turnout of the voting stands at 40%. None of the four candidates secured more than 50% of the vote in yesterday's election, prompting a second round on July 5. The election now saw the lowest voter turnout for a presidential election since the Islamic Republic was established in 1979. So, this is the lowest voter turnout since the establishment of the Iranian state after it turned into an Islamic Republic. The naval vessel named Ranveer arrives in Chattogram, Bangladesh for a week long goodwill visit. Okay, okay. The naval vessel INS Ranveer arrived in Chattogram for a week-long goodwill visit. The visit of INS Ranveer to Chattogram, Bangladesh, coincided with the visit of Admiral D.K. Tripathi, Chief of Naval Staff of the naval arm of Bharat to Bangladesh. Said the High Commission of Bharat to Bangladesh in a social media post on X. Okay. Panama Papers. A lot of you might have heard this in the news as well. There are many of the, celebrities from the Bollywood, many politicians, many businessmen, industrialists from Bharat have also found their names involved and associated with Panama Papers. Okay, so some update on that front. Panama court acquits 28 people tied to Panama Papers, Operation Car Wash. So a total of 28 people have been absolved from any involvement, you know, any illegal involvement, I would say. Okay, a Panamanian court has acquitted 28 people charged with money laundering under cases linked to Panama Papers and Operation Car Wash scandals, the country's judicial branch said in a statement on Friday. Yeah, so there are also some of the, some previous prime ministers and presidents of some, some countries that have involved. One of them is from Argentina, Mauricio Macri. Yeah, I hope I'm saying that correctly. So he is one, yep. In 2016, after leaked confidential documents exposed accounts housed in tax havens linked to individuals, including former Argentine President Mauricio Macri, Ukrainian President Zelensky, and Argentine football star Lionel Messi as well. So all these peoples have found their names associated with Panama Papers. Even Zelensky is allegedly and supposedly supposed to have an account in tax havens. Mm, China Peru completed substantial negotiations to upgrade FTA. For those of you who don't know, Peru is a country in South America, and China is further developing relations with Peru. Okay, China and Peru have achieved substantial conclusion of negotiations on the upgrading of free trade agreements between both countries, Chinese state media said on Friday. Okay, okay. So we are seeing that one more country is being lured into this, uh, I would say, what can we call it? Economic diplomacy. Yeah, that is what it is doing. That is what China does. China lures country through its, easily available liquidity, and yep. China is Peru's top investor and the top market for copper from Peru, the world's third largest producer of the red metal. Copper, as we know, is very much important as a component in manufacturing wires. Okay, we see that increasingly things are getting digitized. So in the upcoming future, you will see that majority of things you can exclude things such as taking a shower, brushing your teeth, doing your day-to-day work. But apart from your those things, many of the things are going to be digitized. I would say you could also expect in your lifetime that you'll see that even there is going to become a time when you're going to vote digitally. Obviously, in the case of Bharat, that is going to be a mammoth exercise, I would say, keeping in mind the number of voters that we have, keeping in mind the penetration of internet and a considerable ground that we need to cover on that front as well. But yes, with increasing digitization, we'll need to manufacture a lot of cables, a lot of wires, and copper is one of the ingredients that we need to manufacture electronic wires. Even optical fiber cables do need copper. And yeah, Peru is the world's third largest manufacturer of copper. China is negotiating and all has almost completed the significant part of negotiations for a free trade agreement with Peru. Okay, okay. So get this. Okay, there is this island in the water body that we like to call it as South China Sea. And in the South China Sea, there is this island that has been under the control of Philippines, but that is something that China disputes. Okay, now to claim rights over that island, what Philippines has done is Philippines has sent uh, an aircraft. I'm not sure whether it is an aircraft carrier or not. A naval ship, I would say. Philippines has sent a naval ship on that island, and it has been grounded over there. Meaning, it is not going to come back. They are going to dismantle and fix that over there. Okay, so now there is a troop, a platoon of soldiers that are on that ship, and whenever a platoon of soldiers, where if they are staying over there, they do need supplies, be it food supplies, be it material supplies and whatnot. So so Philippines, they what they're doing is they are frequently and regularly sending supplies to those vessels, and this is something that is very much that China has aggressively opposed. Okay, here are the exact words, I would say. Yep, these are the words mentioned on the Reuters website that are said by Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning. Okay, he says the United States should stop condoning and supporting the Philippines' provocations and nuisance, and take practical actions to safeguard peace and stability in the South China Sea. The Philippines has sent missions to resupply soldiers living aboard a rusty, aging warship deliberately grounded by Manila in 1999 at the atoll to reinforce its sovereignty claims. So, slight correction, that warship was sent over there in the year of 1999. So there has also been some clarification put out from the side of Philippines that no, we are not, seeking help from the United States, because Philippines and United States do have some defense treaty with relation to South China Sea, and so yeah, so they're saying that we are ready to negotiate peace with China. We are not going to involve any third party in this negotiation. So let's see. So one more addition over here. Hmm, yep. Philippines has not sought US resupply support in China dispute, ambassador. Okay, okay. So on top of this, there were apprehensions from the Chinese side, that is Philippines seeking help from United States. Is Philippines involving United States to escalate this defeat? Okay. So these are the words, I would say. I'm quoting the exact words from Ambassador Jose Manuel Romualdez. Okay, this is the ambassador of Philippines in China. Okay, now this is the statement that he has put out. We would like to be able to supply our soldiers on our own without really bringing in any third party. Because, as I said, this is our territory, which we have made very clear from the very beginning. And so, we have not asked the United States for any assistance whatsoever. So the earlier there were apprehensions from the Chinese side that Philippines was deliberately involving United States, because very recently also there were some exercises undertaken by the Navy, you know, United States Navy in the South China Sea. Yep. Philippines Foreign Affairs Secretary Enrique Manalo told a Senate hearing in Manila, that is capital of Philippines, on Tuesday, that Philippines is committed to working with China to develop confidence building measures to manage tensions in the South China Sea. Okay, so this is a clear message from the Philippine side that they are willing to negotiate. European firms sign flurry of deals as European Union bolsters ties with Egypt. Okay, there are a lot of deals being signed between European Union and Egypt, and the majority of them were in the energy sector. So, Egypt is about to receive a windfall of cash because it has signed a lot of deals with, you know, European Union and many other countries as well. I would say it's going to receive some funding from IMF, World Bank, European Union. So there is going to be a windfall of cash that Egypt is about to get. Let's see how well Egypt makes use of that cash, because very recently we have covered this, that they are reeling with this, nagging problem of power cuts. Even we know that during the summers, the worst thing that could happen is a power cut. So currently, Egypt is reeling with the problem of power cut because they do not have money to buy natural gas to generate electricity. Next up, this is from TASS, the Russian news agency. They have said, okay, Biden admits to presidential debate malperformance. If you have seen, it was a disgraceful performance by the, I would say, uh, if they've if indeed you concede that United States is really the leader of the, of the free world, if the leader of the free democratic world, I would want to see somebody who, you know is a good articulate speaker in such debates. And looking at Joe Biden in that presidential debate was, shameful, to say the least. So yes, there are many from the Democratic side have also conceded that yes, Biden has had a slow start. His popularity seems to have dwindled among the Americans, among the Democrats. So, but because we never know, these elections, they are highly, you know, there is a hodgepodge of misinformation all across United States and all across the world for that matter. So you cannot really trust these social media reports, and who exactly is going to win the elections. We can never be too sure. All right, everyone. We seem to have reached the end of this episode of Weekender. Okay. If you like such content from us, do like our videos, do subscribe to our channel. If you know people who would really appreciate such content, do share our channel, do share our videos with them. And up until next video, take care and have fun. I'll see you guys in the next video.